Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, the issue of a suspected spy drone is resolved with a 12-gauge shotgun. Judge rules on helicopter flights over East Hampton. FBOs battle it out in Milton, Florida. I'm Bree Cross. It is July 1st, 2015, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Whether it's federal regulations, civil law, or just two neighbors that can't get along, small multi-rotor drones are providing lawyers with a new way to make a few bucks. Eric Joe was visiting his parents' home and flew his Hexacopter low and slow over what he says was private property and a shared country access road. Joe's neighbor had his son blast the $1,500 aircraft out of the sky with a 12-gauge shotgun and admitted it to Joe. The neighbor said he thought it was a CIA surveillance device. Joe came up with what he said was a reasonable compensation for the damage, but the neighbor disagreed with Joe's estimate on the damages. The next scene in this drama leads us to small claims court. It's reported the court found that the neighbor acted unreasonably in having his son shoot down the drone, regardless of whether it was over his property or not. The issue of whether it's okay to shoot down a government spy drone does not appear to have been resolved. A U.S. district judge in New York has delivered a win-win, or some might say a lose-lose decision on helicopter restrictions at East Hampton Airport. The judge said that the town of East Hampton could not impose a one-flight-per-week limit on helicopter companies ferrying people from New York City to the resort area, but did allow the curfew sought by the town to be enforced. It's reported that the East Hampton city attorney called the ruling a, quote, ratification of the town board's actions, end quote. He said it provides a roadmap for the type of restrictions that can be imposed by municipalities concerned about noise. The town had argued that because they no longer accept federal grants for airport improvements and other operations, they could impose whatever restrictions they felt were necessary to protect the quality of life in the region. After the break, federal grant assurances say airport businesses must be treated equally.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. When federal grants are used to help sustain an airport, the owner of the airport is obligated to be fair and equitable to all airport businesses. In a recent ruling in a discrimination case involving two FBOs at Peter Prince Field in Milton, Florida, found that the county was guilty of giving preferential treatment to Peter Prince Aviation Center over aircraft management services, and ordered the county develop a corrective action plan as a condition of maintaining its eligibility for federal grants. But Peter Prince Aviation has a different view of the situation and says that it is actually the aggrieved party, while Aircraft Management Services was the first FBO to be located at the airport, and says they are differently situated, meaning they do not have to be treated equally by the county. The FAA is standing by its findings, and a corrective action plan was due to the FAA's Orlando Airport's district office June 26th, but the county has requested a 60-day extension in order to resolve the issues. With some 2,000 aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, Sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
So what advice do you give them, not just in how to pursue a career, but how to survive a career?
Well, I mean, obviously it's difficult right now. You know, there has always been a bit of dues paying, but at this point the dues paying can extend for your entire career. And, you know, I'm very actively working in Washington to do something about that. When
U.S. Airways Flight 1549 went down in the Hudson River, the media went crazy. In this refreshing interview of co-pilot Jeff Skiles by A&N's Jim Campbell, you'll hear an aviation journalist asking salient questions about the flight and the industry. It's refreshing. Search Skiles Making History on Aero-TV's news channel. After these messages, 5 EAA chapters will receive wings from the EAA Give Flight project.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, NavCom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B ATX-100 and ATX-100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The EAA Give Flight project will result in 5 sets of aircraft wings being built during AirVenture 2015. The 5 sets of wings will be given to EAA chapters located in Illinois, Ontario, Canada, Washington State, Connecticut, and New Mexico. The NBAA has released its much-anticipated and updated noise abatement program. It provides business aviation operators as well as airport authorities with recommended guidelines for reducing aircraft noise impacts to communities surrounding the nation's airports. United Airlines has selected Denver as the expansion city for its Global Flight Training Center operations. The expansion supports the retention of 400 existing jobs at the training center as well as the addition of at least 225 new high-paying jobs. It's hard to believe that Boeing's Dreamliner has achieved museum status, but that's the case as Boeing's first Dreamliner is going on permanent display at Nagoya's Chubu Centrair International Airport. Boeing is saying thanks to Japan for participating in the Dreamliner program. Iraq's Brigadier General Rafid Mohammed Hassan was fatally injured when the F-16 he was flying went down. The crash occurred near Tucson, Arizona, as General Hassan was participating in a night training mission with the 162nd Wing of the Arizona National Guard. Well, that's our trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. Sometimes a product that has been refurbished and upgraded can be a real value when compared to a factory new version. It all depends on what you're looking after. To test this theory, One Aviation has announced the Eclipse Special Edition twin-engine jet. The Eclipse SE is a factory-renewed Eclipse 500, which has been substantially upgraded and reconfigured to include nearly all new features introduced on the new Eclipse 550, including a dual Avio integrated flight management system, anti-skid brake system, a newly designed pilot-side standby display unit, PPG glass windshields, new premium interior, and deluxe two-tone paint scheme. Possibly just as important as the upgrades is that the Eclipse SE comes with a 3-year factory warranty and 3-year Eclipse Advantage maintenance program which covers all required scheduled inspections, including the 300-hour inspection, the 24-month inspection, and lesser inspections. Alan Klappmeyer, One Aviation CEO, said in part, quote, "The Eclipse SE is much more than an upgraded Eclipse 500. It's a factory-supported, like-new aircraft for a very reasonable price," end quote. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.